fake sugar shit or this syrup that we chemically enhanced, the syrup was natural originally.
Yeah, it says that the preservative is potassium sorbate.
Yeah, you should look up potassium sorbate. It's not horrible, but it's not the best either. Just always be mindful of what you put in your body, but hey, at least it's not poison like soda. So
Yeah.
soda's still okay in moderation, but moderation.
Okay, we're
day,
live
not 100
now.
times a day.
So far, it's not doing it.
Well, how'd you know we were live?
The notification for Kick popped up. Same with Instagram just now.
Oh,
for me, it was just Instagram. I don't know why it didn't for Kick.
And anyway, guys, that's what the doctor said. I mean, if you get it bleached, it won't be pink forever.
What?
What the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah, I'm with you on this one, Snug.
But I was answering your question, Snug. You were asking me for a reference. So
a reference for what?
I mean, we're on live now. I mean, I can't tell everybody why you're asking me about.
No, go ahead. Tell them. Go ahead.
Yeah, TikTok language.
Yeah, TikTok language. I can't tell you why, but I mean, it's a very honest question, and I'm proud that you, as a man, asked me, another man, about what happens when a doctor goes and bleaches and when it stays pink and all that stuff. I'm proud of you for coming to me with this problem, Snug.
Hilarious.
Just know you're not alone.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was asking you, because you have all the experience in that.
Hey, it's 2025. Don't be ashamed of your game.
All right, y'all ready?
There's nothing like little natural coloring.
All right. What happened in Toxic?
I'm not sure. His camera is black.
He went to unseen mode, I think. He stepped up for a second. He'll probably be back in a sec. He probably just went to go grab something.
Oh, there it goes. He disappeared.
Well, god damn it. Right when we were about to get started.
Hey, at least it's not in the middle.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's get started. I think Toxic will be...
There he is.
Speak of the devil. He's here.
Hey, I made up with Jesus.
All right, you guys, let's get started. Let's go on mute real quick. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back again to a special edition of the Snug Wrestling Podcast. We're recording on a Wednesday, not our typical recording day, which are usually Monday nights or Friday nights. But with Backlash coming up, we had to make some time to preview what to expect from Backlash, what we want to see, what we hope to see, and maybe see if we can guess some of these winners from these matches. And to help me, the Snug Wrestling crew is here with me, Mr. Blood Toxic, and Tommy. Thanks for being here tonight, you guys. I know this was very short notice, but glad y'all can make it. How y'all doing?
Pretty great. Can't believe Backlash came this quick. Oh, wait, I can. They only did 2 weeks after Mania, and we have like 4 more PLEs in 9 weeks.
Oh, yeah, which absolutely fucking sucks.
Does that suck, though?
No, but I feel like it's definitely going to oversaturate people. You got to think 9 weeks, you're cramming how many Monday Night Raws and SmackDowns, NXTs, plus PLEs, Saturday Night Main Event, and potentially a draft all in 9 weeks. It's a lot.
How soon after is the next PLE after Backlash?
2 weeks.
Is it really? Which one?
I think it's Saturday Night Main Event after this.
Yeah.
That's not a PLE. That's a 1 hour show.
No, that's a 2 hour show, brother.
It's a glorified house show.
No, it's only an hour long.
No, it's 2 hours, brother. It had last time they had like 4 matches or 5 matches on.
No,
it's 2 hours and it's only on Peacock.
Yeah,
it's a PLE.
I could have sworn it was only 1 hour long last time.
No, it was 2, brother. Last time we had, I think, 5 matches on that card?
Yeah.
And then, not to mention the fact that they had title matches on it too, so that means we kind of have to watch them in case they do a surprise change to keep people to tune into Saturday Night Main Event in the future. So
yeah, you're right.
Our hands busy on these prediction videos over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, Saturday Night's Main Event.
the
Okay,
last
so we
one
got
was like, what,
Backlash.
December?
Saturday night's main event in a couple weeks here, May 24th. Battleground, May 25th? Oh, that's NXT.
Yeah, that's NXT.
NXT.
Okay, then we got Worlds Collide June 7th and Money in the Bank June 7th. So it's about the next, well, yeah, Saturday night's main event, but then we got pretty much a whole month. Actually, no.
No, because right after, remember, 9 weeks, brother. We're talking. They released the entire schedule spring to into summer.
Yeah.
Or middle of summer.
Yeah, you're right. These are pretty cramped up, actually.
Yeah, it's a lot of content. We're going to have a lot of content on our hands, guys.
Yeah.
I mean, good for us, but.
And then Night of Champions. Night of Champions is that same month of June 28th.
Yeah. They're cramped. And keep in mind, Crown Jewel is going to be in Perth, Australia this year. So, and that's coming up soon too.
Yeah.
So
I swear I'm gonna sleep through it if it's in Perth.
It's. I mean, oh yeah. Well, you won't sleep through it, brother. They'll do it at 3 PM over here.
They also have one on the schedule that says WWE Evolution.
Yeah, they announced the next Evolution pay-per-view, the all women's pay-per-view. This is the second one.
Oh, that's the all women's one. Oh,
yeah.
okay.
People have been asking for it for years, so they finally decided to do it.
Evolution 2.0.
It's probably because Stephanie came back and pushed for it, but it's I mean 9 weeks, but there's a lot of shit they're cramming in there. You gotta wonder how many of these dates is John Cena working too.
Yeah, that's
because
crazy.
we only have like 27, 26 left.
Like 27. He's about to be at 26 this Saturday. So
damn.
Unless he shows up on Friday.
That's appearances, not matches.
Yeah.
So if he's in more feuds, you got to think every time he comes in to build up a feud, the promo, there goes another appearance. And you got to go all the way to December. So at some point, he's going to be off our screens for 2-3 months to save some of those appearances towards his final 2-3 months. So
we have a fun question on the comments by Mark Steven. Pierce, fantasy match, who wins? The Wild Samoans versus 3-minute warning.
The Samoans, brother.
Wild Samoans.
So you're putting up Samoans up against Samoans. Okay.
The Wild
yeah, but
Samoans.
It's a good question. It's a good question.
The Wild Samoans.
Yeah, they're a little bit
Samoans,
meaner. A little bit meaner.
Yeah, they're
so here's the question here. The unspoken rule of never giving a Samoan a headbutt because it basically does nothing. What does it do when a Samoan headbutts another Samoan? Does it actually work?
Explosion.
No, it's basically like
concussion.
Someone who's Samoan adjacent. So
that sounds fucking gross, actually.
That does.
The fuck is that?
I'll tell you guys off camera about the time my ex took a nice pair of scissors and me with him about 11 years ago. And old Uncle Blood used that in self-defense. She has these nice shiny metal plates in her cheeks now. So,
oh, man. All right, let's talk about wrestling.
So again, the Wild Samoans.
All right. Let's start off with the John Cena versus Randy Orton match. And this is for the undisputed WWE Championship. A lot of people they're excited for the hype. They're excited for the build-up. When it comes to the match itself, people are expecting a certain type of slower pace match. You know, these two are veterans. They're older guys. What do you guys expect to see, and who do you guys think is going to win? I honestly, I mean, at first I was kind of 50-50 because Randy Orton has been built greatly as of late. It's kind of hard to defeat Randy Orton because of the momentum he has going into Backlash, but it's John Cena. He just won the title like we talked about very, very recently. I don't see John Cena losing it to Randy Orton, unfortunately. I'm going to have to go with John Cena, but Mr. Blood, what do you think is going to go down here in this match?
I definitely have Cena retaining here because it'd be way too soon to take the title off him. They're really trying to build that whole last real champion thing, and you can't build it if you cut the legs out from under it 2.5 or so weeks to 3 weeks after he wins it. So as far as I'm concerned, it's definitely going to be John Cena. I do agree with the sentiment that this is going to be a slower paced match because every match we've ever seen Randy and John have has been that slow, methodical pace because that's the pace Randy wrestles the best at. And John's older, and he admitted on a live stream not too like I think last week or the week before. He's like, look, I always said the moment I get a step slower, I feel a little bit movement slower is when I'm going to hang it up. And you know what's happening here is John is starting to feel a little slower. He worked that slow, methodical pace against Cody at Mania. And Randy has always worked a slow, methodical pace. It's one of the reasons he looks so graceful in the ring because he takes his time. But he still takes his time inside of a 13-minute match. So with these two, one of the biggest complaints people used to have about their feuds back in the day, especially their last couple feuds, like around 2010 to 2013, when they were doing the unified belts for that in that ladder match, people were sick and tired of seeing these guys feud because their matches apparently were always boring to people because of that slow, methodical pace. I think that if this match happens Saturday, which it is, so it's not if I think it happens, it's when it happens, I think it should not go on last because you do not want to send the fans home with what they're going to feel is boring to watch at home because you have the IWC, the Internet Wrestling Community, that's going to shit all over it for being slow and methodical like they did it the same exact way with Cody versus Cena at Mania. They shit all over it for being too slow and boring. That was the main argument and complaint. I think that match cannot go on last. I think put it on first or in the middle. And I think Cena's got to win here, but I would honestly I would put either that. I think I'd put the United States title match on last, to be honest, guys.
That's a good point. Shout out to Dizave Fuego. I forgot to mention that this is happening in St. Louis, guys. This is in Randy Orton's hometown. So Dizave believes that this match is definitely going to be on last. That's a good point. Toxic, let's go with you.
I was stuck originally on who I wanted to win because I had the whole argument. Oh, John Cena just won the title. No way they're gonna take it off of him so soon. But then we figured out that Randy is next up for John, and I'm like, this changes my thought. I want Randy to win because, one, screw John Cena. Two, I'm just not interested in the last reigning champion. I'm just not interested in it. And Randy's been back since, 2023? I feel it's about time you put another title on him. He's looking, not to say that Randy's boring, because he is not. But I would like to see him with some gold around his waist. Am I right or am I wrong?
Who, Randy?
Yeah, Randy.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Randy definitely, I think, oh, man. He's been in such a good run, man. I definitely would love to see Randy with some gold. Tommy, you're up.
So, as much as I would love to say, and I originally said this, that Cena was going to have a 20-day reign, as much as I would love to reiterate that, I have had time within the past 2 weeks to fully think about this. As much as I would want him to, that's not going to happen. Eventually, he will absolutely have the 15th world title reign. He absolutely will at some point. But I do not think it is going to happen in St. Louis. Especially if Triple H is still on this thing of, oh, Cena is going to ruin wrestling for all of us. If that's fully going to happen, Cena cannot have a title reign that is only 20 days long. There's just no way.
Yeah, absolutely. BT, welcome. We're want to hear your predictions here for John Cena versus Randy Orton.
All right, let's get straight into it. Good to be here. I think Cena is winning without a shadow of a doubt. I would love to see Randy Orton with some gold around his waist, but unfortunately, the timing of it just isn't right. Cena, yeah, this character stick of his is starting to get a bit stale, in my opinion. It's getting a bit annoying with this whole, I'm going to be the last real champion, and like, we get it. You were in an abusive relationship with the fans for 25 years. We understand that. But you got to understand, you're not the only wrestler that's had an abusive relationship with these fans. There's a lot of wrestlers that have been at least, like, say, a really good babyface, and then they just get booed out of the stadium. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Roman Reigns was one of those big examples. And then what happens? He announces his leukemia, and everybody just starts being like, oh, this is the savior, and you know what I mean? So he's not the only one. But anyway, in my opinion, I think John Cena wins this without a shadow of a doubt. Would love to see Randy Orton win, but yeah, unfortunately, we can see that John Cena is winning this.
Yeah, we can. I think it's safe to say. I think the safest bet is John Cena has to win this. But AR-15 on the comments, he brings up a good point. Also, he believes that Randy Orton could still win it, but as a DQ. And I think that also makes sense because of the way that Randy Orton has been built. I know it's John Cena, and I know if anyone should beat Randy or stop Randy, it could be John Cena. But I just feel like Randy Orton, he's just, I don't think you can beat him at Backlash in his hometown like that. I really think, I don't know, how do you guys feel about having like some type of fuck finish or something to happen, maybe an interference? Do you guys think we can see an interference that will kind of protect not just Randy, but John Cena also?
I don't think that. I think that if you have that fucked up finish, fine. It can't be the main event then. Like I said before, you can't send the fans home like that on a bullshit DQ finish because that's what Vince would do. You know, and what a slap in the face. John's first title defense ends in a DQ.
He's a heel.
He's a heel, but Randy's the hometown hero. It'll piss off the whole hometown crowd. You can't have it go last. You can do the DQ finish. It can't be the main event if that's how you're going to leave them. It's about how you leave them.
But wouldn't that kind of play into what John Cena has been saying, that he wants to ruin wrestling?
He may want to ruin wrestling, but the booking should still be smarter than that. Because it's too easy. It's too much of a cop-out finish to have the match end in a DQ. It's a cop-out because Vince was notorious for copping out with DQ finishes all the time. I mean, in the beginning of Triple H's booking run, he was notorious for letting matches end in roll-ups. You remember all those roll-up finishes we had that went on forever? Vince was known for DQ finishing his way out of a corner. Triple H has got to be a smarter booker than that. If you don't want to book yourself into a corner, then don't book yourself into a corner. But if you book yourself into a corner, don't take a bullshit way out of the corner. Just be smart or don't trap yourself in the corner.
So you think John Cena beats Randy clean 1, 2, 3 in the middle of the ring?
I don't think it's clean. I think it's by bullshit ref bump or ref's distracted. He does something, low blows Randy, because low blowing seems to be John's thing right now. Pause. Resume. And as far as it's concerned, I think it ends some way like that. Ref bump, fucked up finish. Travis Scott, please God no. But at the same time, I definitely think it ends with a bullshit cheat win, a heel win, but it can't be a DQ finish. Let him beat Randy, but don't let it be clean, but don't let it be DQ. There's a million ways you can do that.
Well, we still got SmackDown left because we're recording on a Wednesday. So depending on what we see on Friday Night SmackDown, go down between either. I think John Cena's scheduled to be at this SmackDown, isn't he? Do we know? Okay.
I'm not exactly sure, honestly.
Because last week we just saw Randy Orton, so I don't think we'll see just Randy Orton. Maybe we'll get a John Cena video package or something. AR-15 says yes. So John Cena will be on SmackDown this Friday, most likely. I'm taking AR-15's word for it.
So my quick thoughts on the possible DQ thing. I'm with Blood on this. If that happens, it cannot go on last. Like, I get it. Randy is the hometown hero. You would expect it to go on last. Which brings me to this point. It would kind of be a really fucked up way to run back a feud that goes back years. A match that we have been wanting since... Like, we have wanted this match again for quite a while. It is one of the first matches that popped into everybody's head when this farewell tour was even announced, before he even turned to heel. This was one of the first matches that popped into all of our heads.
Mm-hmm.
And if it ends in DQ, I'm afraid that it might look back at all of those feuds and just go, what the hell were these for then?
And to second that really quick, I agree with Tommy's assertion there, for the simple grounds of we've only got like 26 to 27 John Cena dates left. You can't imagine they're running back any feuds he's got in his closing years, more than one match per each person he's running it with. Like, I can't see him running it back with Randy at Saturday night's main event or at Money in the Bank or whatever. Okay, because then you've got to build to that again. We get more promos, more appearances. That list ticks down. You've got to save some stuff for the fall because that's leading into the end. So you're going to want as many open dates as possible, October, November, December. So you can't just be having them rematch people, even from bullshit finishes. So they have to be smart about how they utilize his appearances. And I don't think ending it with a DQ is smart, because then it opens it up for Randy to go, well, I want a rematch. Okay, well, now we're going to run it back again to the next PLE. Here's another promo and then another match. That's 2 more appearances just to run it back with the same guy, when he could work with Austin Theory again. He could work with CM Punk. He could work with here. You got to imagine he's going to run it back with Cody before the end of the year. So, I mean, how much of his time are you trying to get rid of?
Well, ending it in a DQ is not always such a bad thing, because that can mean anything can happen here, you guys. Like, I don't know, like the possibility, like, especially after what we saw on Monday Night Raw, like the way that they just fucking booked a crazy ass match between Jey Uso, Seth Rollins. You guys also mentioned, the John Cena appearances are, they're numbered. So, like, I can see them doing some crazy shit in this match that just, like, completely makes people forget about it was a DQ, and we're just left completely shocked of the outcome. Like, I think there's going to be way more to this than just, okay, John Cena beat Randy Orton. All right, on to the next one. At least that's what I'm hoping for.
I hope you're right. If they go with the DQ, I hope you're right. But if they don't have something like that in the bag, Cody versus John Cena WrestleMania 41 as example A. And it's just fucking Travis Scott walking his candy ass out there, then keep that shit and make it just a dirty win instead of a clean win or a DQ finish, and find another way to get there if you don't have something better in the bag to justify that DQ finish. That's all I'm saying. But if they want to do the DQ finish, overbook it to where I do forget, because I know the first thing I'll hear on Wrestle Talk and What Culture the next morning is DQ finish. That was kind of naff, wasn't it? You know, like I know it's the first thing I'll hear. And you know the IWC is going to be up in arms about it if it happens.
I just don't think you can beat Randy Orton just yet. Not just in his hometown, but in general. But then you add the fact that they're in his hometown. Randy Orton, he's just been.
The only way you can beat him is with a dirty finish, because it reinforces the heel hate for John. He leaves with the heat. But then Randy still gets the standing ovation and applause when he gets back up after the match ends and John leaves the ring and he gets his farewell goodbye. Kind of like Drew McIntyre when he lost in Cardiff. So, you know, there's a way to do this that still sends people home happy, but your angle is still intact. But we'll see.
Yeah. The unfortunate thing is we pretty much all agree here that Randy Orton will not be walking out with the Undisputed Championship. I think that's safe to say.
Except for me.
Except for Toxic, but Toxic, he sniffs a lot of Skittles. I don't know. All right, moving on to everyone's favorite match of the night. Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyrie for the WWE Women's Intercontinental Championship. Toxic, you're up first for this one. I know you've been dying to see this one. What do you think is going to happen?
No, I haven't been dying to see it. I think this might be the bathroom match for every single one. Am I right? Am I wrong? I honestly really don't care for this, but I think it's kind of obvious who has to win. I mean, but not really. You could have Lyra win, as Becky puts Lyra over more than Lyra kind of already is. Or you can just continue the Becky Hogan allegations and have Becky win. I really don't care for this, but I'm either or. I don't care.
Gotcha.
Here's mine on this. Who's next? If Lyra wins, who's next? If Becky wins, who's next? Because with Lyra, even while she's still holding it, has she really defended it? Like, other than
Dakota
exactly.
and Ivy. Those
Like,
are the only two I remember.
What was doing? If you're only listening to this, he put up like two, three times.
And she's held it for how long?
And she has held it for quite a bit. So with this, one question remains. Doesn't matter who wins, who's next. Because overall, this mid-card division with both of these women's titles has been mediocre at best. It has not been good whatsoever. It just feels like they were looking at what we all wanted and said, here, we don't have a plan for it yet, but here you go. That's pretty much it. It's like, here are these women's titles that you wanted. We don't know what to do with them yet, but you have them. You have them now. I'm going Becky to win this. I'm going Becky. Don't really care about this match. Although Lyra did do a really damn good promo on Monday. I will say that. But I do not think she's retaining. I think Becky Hogan is truly going to be real.
Mm-hmm. All right, BT, time to talk about your favorite match of the night. And remember, be nice.
Oh my goodness gracious me. It's very hard to be nice when you listen to all the bullshit that the people that you follow on TikTok has to say about this shit, including a transgender who is a big Becky Lynch fan who
Remember
Blood
on
TikTok
a
language.
recent
Wait,
on
what?
a recent interview that Becky Lynch was on. I don't know the full context to it, but apparently the way this person summed it up, they basically said that Becky Lynch basically came on and said that she shouldn't have to put anybody over at the age that she's at. And they agree with her. I fucking don't. Because she's a legend in this business. Like, all the other legends are supposed to put people over. And they started going on like, you rarely see men putting other men over. Like other men that are legends putting over younger men that are making it in the business. And I'm like, Austin Theory versus John Cena. WrestleMania 39. John Cena's a decorated legend. John Cena's a decorated legend, puts Austin Theory over, even though it was a failed experiment. Like, what? Like, I did not get that at all. Like, okay, I'm getting off track. Anyway, I really don't give a fuck who wins this. I just want the shit to be over. But if I had to pick a winner, unfortunately, it's got to be Becky Hogan. It's got to be Becky Hogan. And I know Courtney from fucking TikTok, if she bumps into one of our clips and hears this shit, she's going to lose it. She's going to lose it.
I'm going to tag her in it.
Oh, bro. But from what we've been hearing about her coming up with the whole plot and how, like, she thought that winning the tag titles at WrestleMania and then losing it the next night, a needless thing to happen, was the only way to get Lyra over? Are you kidding? Just so Lyra can cut good promos and have what chance chanted over the top of them? Bruh. But yeah, unfortunately, I'm gonna go for Becky in this one. But I would love to see Lyra win this. I would love to see that. But Tommy's right. Who's next after this whole thing? Who is next? Seriously.
Really quick before I start, I'd just like to state for the record, BT by no means means anything negative in a connotation against transgender people. Snug Wrestling does not condone any negative connotation against transgender people. For those watching who may have felt offended or anything, I just want to put that out there. We do not condone any LGBTQIA hate, nor do we despair against your gender identity nor your sexual identity. But really quickly, it's got to be Becky. And here's the problem. If they had built Lyra up better over the last year since Becky's absence, people would be pulling for Lyra to win. But you saw in that promo exchange, and I went back and watched the promo like twice. You know what? On the third watch, I realized Lyra didn't cut a great promo. She cut a decent promo with a lot of good one-liners. And there's the difference. A great promo is the pipe bomb. You know, a great promo is what Pat McAfee just cut. You know, it was decent with good one-liners and some zingers. And Becky just pulled out the wrong analogy for garbage and recycling. Even though it made sense, it was a pretty roundabout way of getting to the point, which is the only reason Lyra looked better by comparison in their exchange. But I definitely say Becky has to win Because if they had spent a year making Lyra important and cared enough, she'd have the fanfare to be like, woo, we want Lyra, let's go Lyra, down with Becky. But they didn't. So if you noticed in that promo exchange just past Monday, they were still trying to cheer Becky, and she kept trying to get the cheap heat. Because just like the last time Becky turned heel, nobody's buying it. Because it's hard to root against Becky when she's so beloved by fans. Just like it's so hard for people to cheer Charlotte because she is so dang controversial with fans. And it's to this credit, you want to make Becky a heel, fine. Make Becky a heel. You're not going to get people to hate her because she's going to be what Braun Breaker is, a cool heel. And what Seth Rollins is. They won't boo Seth either. He's a cool heel. If CM Punk turned heel tomorrow, same thing. We're in that era where it's not easy to keep real heat on heels unless it's go away heat or they just don't care about you. But in this scenario, who is next? I think the mistake here comes back to getting rid of Dakota Kai and getting rid of Cora Jade, people that you could have brought up to the main roster and added to that division. Okay, you could have brought Shotzi back up and had her in that division. Say what you will about her in-ring career. She was on the main roster prior to this. She was in War Games on the team that won. She has credentials on the main roster. Jakara Jackson could have got moved up, could have been in this division. You know who needs to be in this division? Who should have been in this division? Shayna Baszler could have really gotten reinvigorated by this division. Could have helped put it on the map if they had let her be the badass that she actually legitimately is in real life. That woman is a beast for real. Shoot, not kayfabe. Okay? You could have, if you ask me, you know who really needs to be next? Zoe fucking Stark. Zoe Stark needs to be next. Zoe Stark or Dakota Kai are the main two people who should have won that belt before Lyra got her paws on it. It should have been one of those two women. In my humble opinion, I don't think I'm wrong here either. Dakota had waited so long, and Zoe has been underrated for so long and put in so much work with Tiffany Stratton and Becky Lynch. They put her on a bit of a singles run before they paired her with Pure Fusion Collective. She was on her own division. She should have been one of the main people in this division helping build it up because of her in-ring ability and her actual technical prowess. This is a workhorse title. That is a workhorse wrestler. So was Shayna when they were booking her right. Okay? This division could have had so many problems solved had they not just done what Tommy said, which is the truth. You guys keep asking about women's mid-card titles. Here you go. Will you shut up now because we gave them to you? And they're in your new 2K25 game. Hey, why are you so mad? We gave you what you wanted, right? We gave it to you. We didn't have any plans, but we gave it to you. You know what I'm saying? Had they actually found a fundamental way to make this division interesting, this feud would be great right now. People would genuinely care about this. But I'm a Toxic. This is the piss break match. And I hate saying that because this is not the Divas era anymore. These women are two incredibly talented performers. Becky is fantastic. Lyra is fantastic. This match should be fantastic. We should be looking forward to this. We really should be. And that's the aggravating part. None of us are. So it has to be Becky. But it's a damn shame that it has to be Becky. That's what's upsetting about this to everybody. Because it could have been any one of these other women. You know what? I would have really enjoyed Lyra versus Zoe. Run Bayley back for that IC title. Would have been a killer match. But I digress. That's why this whole division sucks. That's why this match is the least anticipated on everybody's bingo card. Because they have treated this division with disrespect for almost a year now. And it's kind of bullshit, and it's a slap in the face to the women in that division and to the fans who begged for that title in the first place.
The only way I'm actually going to give a shit about this match is if Lyra Valkyrie actually wins. Unlike all of you guys, I'm going to have to go with Lyra Valkyrie because, like you guys mentioned before, she's only defended a handful of times versus people like Ivy Nile. Or I think she defended against Bayley at one point, which that was a great that's something good to put under your belt for Lyra Valkyrie. You defeated Bailey of all people. But I think if Lyra defeats a heel Becky Lynch, I think it would put her over in an even bigger way. And I just don't want to see Becky Lynch walk around, not just as a heel, but as a heel with the Intercontinental Championship. That's just going to scream go away heat for me. Not even like, hey, like, oh, she's so good as a heel. Oh, look at her. No, like as like like I don't want to see it. I just don't want to see it.
But that might kind of be the point there, Snug. If you have Becky win, because they know that the biggest fight they had with her last heel turn was they could not get fans to boo her, so they were forced to turn her back face. If you piss them off so bad that they genuinely are sick of her, you'll finally get the reaction from her that you're actually hoping for. So, I mean, and honestly, why would you turn her heel if it was going to fail the first match she has as a heel? Same thing with John Cena. You couldn't turn him heel if you were going to have him lose to Cody.
I just can't stand her. I just can't stand Becky Lynch.
And you're fine, and you're completely within your right to. But despite how we feel about them, we have to look at it logically. They turned Cena heel. That automatically kind of cemented he has to win at Mania. Otherwise, what was the point? She just turned heel on Lyra 2 weeks ago. If it doesn't pay off her first match against her, what was the point? BT?
You put Lyra Valkyrie over in a bigger way. She needs the win for the people to take her like as a serious champion. She needs to be Becky Lynch. She needs the win more than Becky Lynch does. That's what
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. The problem is, if they wanted her to be taken seriously as a champion, they should have started doing that 7 months ago.
It's not too late. She's still the champion.
I think it's not that it's never too late, but I think it's past the point where it's going to do anything or help her at all.
Well, I think I'm going to say Lyra's going to win and Bayley's going to come back. And then we're going to see a non-title feud between Bayley and Becky Lynch. If everything that Becky Lynch is saying is true within story, that she was the one that took out Bayley, Bayley has to come back and get her revenge on Becky Lynch. So why not? Let's run that back. Becky Lynch versus Bayley. And hopefully, I don't know.
I think that's the plan there, brother. I think the plan is to put the title on Becky so she can feud with Bayley over it to really put eyes on that title.
No.
I think that's the point.
I just not. Oh man, they need to keep that belt away from Becky as far as possible.
I know you don't want to see it, but what's a higher selling marquee match? A horsewoman versus a horsewoman, legend versus legend, Grand Slam champion versus Grand Slam champion, or Lyra Valkyria versus Bayley, or Lyra Valkyria versus Becky too.
It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to involve Lyra Valkyrie.
No,
just Bayley versus Becky, non-title. Let's make this a grudge feud, or let's. Bayley is pissed off already. Bayley, right. She cut that promo on Chris Van Vliet. She's being more herself. She's being more intense, more honest, versus a Becky who's just a fucking nasty heel. Like, let's get these two together. Let's get them to cut fucking shoot promos on each other. They know each other so well. They can have a good feud without the title. Lyra goes over. She gets the win that she needs. Bayley gets her revenge on Becky. That's what I want to see.
Okay, but then the question remains at the end of this match: if Lyra goes over, who's next?
I haven't thought about that yet. I don't know.
But they have.
I can't think of any names right now off the top of my head, but they have so many people in that women's roster that Lyra can feud with.
BT?
It just froze for me for a second. This is one of the big reasons why I believe that SmackDown has been the better show to watch, because they actually have something for their mid-card division. When it comes to the US title, the women's United States title, some parts of the women's United States title, but especially the tag team division. It is stacked, that tag team division.
Is it?
On SmackDown. It is.
Like
it
who?
is. Fucking Fraxium, Gargano,
yeah.
and Ciampa, the champions in the Street Profits.
I thought you were talking about the women's tag team division. I was like, what?
I forgot that existed.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, bruh.
This is why the women's tag titles need to go away, because we keep forgetting they exist.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
But yeah, apart from the stuff that the women are doing on like with the tag titles, there's a lot of shit on SmackDown that they're doing, like within the mid-card division, that has been infinitely better than what they've been doing on Raw, in my opinion. It's been the more entertaining show in my eyes, and that's one of the reasons why. But it's the women that have been booked horribly, and we've been saying it since the booking to WrestleMania. When is the bullshit booking gonna fucking end? Because it doesn't look like it is. You know what I mean? Like, I was listening to one of our episodes just last night, and we were talking about the Rhea, Bianca, and Io triple threat match, the build up to it. And I was just thinking about, we should have taken a bit of, like, a little lesson from that booking, like how bullshit that was. But it turns out we fucking learned nothing. We've learned nothing over the fucking years, and it's really sad. And one of the things that Mr. Blood had said in that video was that it's insulting to the women who work so hard and have to make a sandwich out of this, like, salad dressing, or it was some analogy like that, but
chicken salad into chicken shit.
Chicken shit into chicken salad.
Yeah, exactly.
America.
But yeah, this is why I believe that SmackDown has been the better show to watch, in my opinion, because of the mid-card stuff. So
fair enough. I just realized we have a few comments on the Instagram page. My bad, y'all. I didn't see them, but shout out to the Mike Omega. He's a friend of the show. He's been on the show a few times also. He believes Bayley runs in, costs Becky the match. And when it comes to the women's tag team division, Mike says Liv and Raquel are dropping when Liv comes back. So those are, I think Mike agrees with me. Thank you, Mike, for not leaving me hanging like these motherfuckers over here. But let's move on to the next match, because we got Gunther versus Pat McAfee. And after this past Monday, this match went up a couple notches. It's heating up between these two. This is one of the matches I'm looking forward to seeing. I don't think Pat McAfee actually has a chance here whatsoever. Man, this is a pissed off Gunther. He just lost the world heavyweight title, and I think he's gonna take all his anger out on poor old little Pat McAfee. So I'm gonna have to go with Gunther all the way here. I think Pat McAfee, he's in a really bad spot. What else? I think I'm going to make a wild prediction and say if Michael Cole is ringside, I think Michael Cole's going to get involved. And I think he's going to get hurt also. I think Gunther's going to take them both out. I'm going to throw Michael Cole in that mix. But I hope I'm wrong, man, because I love Michael Cole so much, man. But I think Gunther's going to beat up Pat so bad that Michael Cole's going to want to get involved also. But who's up? I can't remember. Yeah.
Oh, B, is it you?
I went, and then Toxic went. So whomever's having Toxic.
Okay, so it's me then.
All right, go ahead, Tommy.
All right, so yeah, I said it on Monday. I'm saying it again. It's going to be Gunther, and I'm sorry, Pat. You're not walking out of this. You're getting carried out on a stretcher because there's no possible way that your legs are going to work by the time Gunther is done with you. I said this before, and, and I will say it again. Gunther, when you have his undivided attention, like what he told Pat McAfee on Monday, he is deadly. You are not coming back from it. I mean, even Jay at Mania, yes, Jay did take the title off of him, but it took using Gunther's own move against him to get the title off of him. When Gunther is focused on you, you're done. He is absolutely deadly when he's specifically focused on one person. And with how pissed off he is now, I'm sorry, but Pat, you're not walking out of this. So I'm going Gunther here. And if Snug, you are right, and Michael Cole gets involved here, he's not walking out either. Odds are, if I were to guess a match where the tables will break, this would be the match for it to happen. For sure.
Jesus.
Especially if this match is before Randy and Cena. If this match is before that, Randy and Cena isn't even going to have a commentary table because that sucker is going to be on the ground flat.
They might not have commentary.
All right, BT.
I think Pat's winning. And here's the reason why. Oh, shit. I almost made blood fall off his hair with that. But here's the reason why. We all want to see Pat get busted open with color coming off his forehead. Like, as much as we, like, hate it in, like, real life because we love Pat McAfee, we want to see it in kayfabe, right? But I think there's a story that they should be telling with Gunther. And one of the big stories is that the people that we expect Gunther to beat, he's lost to. Like, when it comes to Cody Rhodes versus Gunther, right? At the Crown Jewel 2024. Cody beat him because of a roll-up, right? I'm not even going to talk about Sami Zayn versus Gunther because I'm still mad about that it wasn't Chad Gable that beat him at WrestleMania 40. So sometimes I just want to forget that doesn't even count. But Jay tapped Gunther out. Let's not forget that, right? All of these people that Gunther has been expecting to beat, there has been some type of way that it has cost him. And I think they are going to capitalize on that factor alone so that Pat goes over Gunther. It sounds crazy, But I think Pat's getting the win over Gunther because of that reason alone. Fight me on it, but that's my prediction. And if Michael Cole gets involved, you're going to make Michael Cole have color as well. So it can ignite the fire in Pat McAfee to get back into the match. Whether he wins it, whether he doesn't win it, it's going to be a fucking good match.
You mean
But I think
with Jimmy, with Jay?
Yeah, exactly. That'll be a good callback. And it may cost Gunther in the process. So I think that's what's going to happen. I think Pat's going to get the win over Gunther. That's my prediction.
I think you're actually onto something, BT. Now, yeah, it does sound a little crazy, but what if it's Jey Uso? He's not on this card. He's cool with Pat. He's cool with Michael Cole. What if he's the one that comes out? It comes out and helps Pat McAfee fucking beat Gunther. I don't know. What do you think, Blood?
Me personally, I am a Pat McAfee fanboy. Love the guy. He's so much fun. You know, JR was my favorite commentator forever. But in the last many years, I have said this time and time again, unapologetically, Pat McAfee has become my most favorite all-time commentator. Because when I look at Pat, he's not your regular play-by-play color commentator. He's a fan that's getting to talk about wrestling live on TV. And that's why I love him, because he's what all of us wish we could be doing. Ringside, watch the action, calling the action, getting excited, being 10 feet from it. He's living like every kid's childhood dream, aside from being in that ring. You're as close to it as you can get without taking a bump. And as much as I love him, I think Gunther wins, but I don't think it's going to be easy. I think Gunther's saying, I'm hyper-focused on you. I'm going to brutalize you. God himself won't be able to raise my arms off your throat, was one of the hardest lines that man has ever dropped. However, I think Michael Cole doesn't involve himself. I think there's a point in the match where Pat's down for whatever reason. Maybe, because my fantasy booking is this. Gunther takes most of the match, even though Pat's got a lot of good offense, a lot of surprise attacks Gunther's not expecting. I think what's going to happen is Pat's going to go for that hop-up superplex. And I think he's going to go ahead once he superplexes him. Because I think he's going to get it when Gunther goes up for the body splash that Gunther likes to do. I think Pat's going to run up, jump up, superplex him off. And I think Pat's going to try to tap out Gunther, which is going to embarrass Gunther, infuriate him for Mania. He's going to break out, beat the brakes off of Pat. And I think when Pat's down, instead of going for a pin, I think Gunther's going to look over the commentary table. And he's going to go after Michael now that no one can stop him. And I think Michael's going to try to defend himself. And I think that is what's going to get Pat to get back on Gunther. He's almost going to beat him. It's going to be a near fall. Gunther's going to turn around and turn it into something else. And he's going to get his hands on Michael again. Only it's going to be to trick Pat. Pat's going to try to break it up, get screwed, clothesline, chopped, powerbombed, or whatever. And it's going to end with Gunther not powerbombing Pat. I think it's going to end with him getting Pat in the rear naked chokehold. Because if you think about it, he lost a Mania to a tap out. He's going to want to show people that, hey, I can make people quit too. It was a fluke, this, that. I think he's going to try to make a statement and try to tap out Pat, and he's not going to let go. So, but I think for a fact, yeah, Michael's getting involved, but I think it's because Gunther's dragging him into it when Pat's down, and he wants that pound of flesh that Pat stopped him from getting on Michael. And I think Gunther goes over because Pat tries to save Michael maybe one too many times or two too many times, and that's going to be what gets Pat locked in that hold and lights out. But I think it's going to be an extremely fun match. And I think we're going to see a lot more out of Pat than we expected. And I think Gunther's going to see a lot more out of Pat than we expected. I would like some color in this. If we don't have it, that's fine. But I know by the end of this, Pat McAfee's chest is going to look like hamburger meat, and he's going to be showing colors somewhere, dripping. Whether he meant it to happen or not, he might be missing a nipple, you know. So, but I'm ready to. If I go into the front row with an autograph signed on it and everything. But I think this is going to be a good one. But Gunther goes over. But I agree with the pieces. Michael's got to get involved. I think definitely Gunther's going to, but I think Gunther has to win with the rear naked chokehold to put over the fact that it was a fluke that I tapped out. And he's going to really try to hammer that point home by being merciless to Pat in that finish with that rear naked choke.
So we have another multi-man match for a mid-card title. I feel like we've seen
You make
this.
talks.
Thank you. Go ahead, Toxic.
Yeah, just screw me.
My bad. I forgot.
I'm just kidding. I got Pat. One, because, like I said, with Randy and Cena, screw Gunther. Hate him. And also, I don't agree with this whatsoever, but I'm just going to put this out there because what if, what if we see an interference, not from Jay, but what about from Goldberg?
Forgot about that guy.
And this is a major stretch, and I do not see this one happening. What about Lesnar? Yeah, I don't see it happening, but the Goldberg one I could see happening.
I see Goldberg. I like where you're going with that. I think Goldberg or Ilya, which is who I originally thought would interfere in this whole thing as a return. But Goldberg makes a lot of recent sense there, Toxic. You're cooking, buddy.
Yeah, because we saw Goldberg get up at Bad Blood whenever Gunther insulted him, but we never got to see them like face off or anything. They were just Gunther's in the ring, he's at ringside or in the front row. We never got to see anything of that. I want to see a potential match at SummerSlam between them two.
Goldberg did say he wanted one last match, and who better than the one that has threatened his son before?
So, because of this Goldberg interference, I think that's how Pat wins. Gunther gets caught off guard, and Pat taps Gunther.
I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. If that's how Pat goes over, it makes storyline sense from stuff we've already had set up. So that's a really good call there, Toxic. I mean, I still think Gunther, but you almost had me flip my vote there, bud. But I like where you're thinking.
All right, let's go on to the United States Championship match, the Fatal 4-Way of Jacob Fatu is going to be defending versus Drew McIntyre, LA Knight, and Damian Priest. And the last few weeks, all four of these guys have been super mad at each other. And I get what they're doing. I get what they're trying to do. You know, they're trying to give these guys all reasons to hate each other, to hate one another. And, you know, it's supposed to be like an intense feud, and this is going to be an intense match. All four of these guys in the same ring. It should be one hell of a match. The problem that I have with this is that we've seen, it feels like so many multi-man matches at WrestleMania. You know, the LA Knight has had, you know, he's defended this title in triple threats match when he was the champion. And it's just like, it just seems like we're just seeing these matches again and again. This time we're going to see it again in a Fatal 4-Way match. And as much as I would love to say, I don't know what's going to happen, Jacob Fatu just won the damn thing. He's a freaking beast. The people, even though he's a heel, popped big when he won the title. You can't take the title off Jacob Fatu. No matter what the circumstances are, no matter who, if it is Drew McIntyre or LA Knight or Damian Priest in a fucking fatal 8-man match, whatever, Jacob Fatu has to fucking win, and I'm pretty sure he is. So I'm gonna go with Jacob Fatu for mine. But BT, you're up. What do you think is gonna happen here?
I think Toxic.
No. Me.
Oh, it is you? Okay, sorry. My bad.
No, I went last time. BT's next, and then the next round is you, then Toxic.
Yeah. Okay. Now that we got that out of the way, Jacob Fatu is winning this without a shadow of a doubt. But how far is the Money in the Bank PLE?
This Saturday.
June.
Oh, Money in
June.
the Bank. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
June. What did you say? Like 22nd or 23rd or something.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right. Gotcha. I have fingers crossed that LA Knight's going to be a part of that, but it's very small. But let me just explain this as an LA Knight fan, why I think LA Knight should win it, and why I think it's his last chance to win it, like, at all. Because at this point, LA Knight, if he doesn't win that briefcase, he's probably going to be one of the biggest Triple H fumbles. He's leaning into that category as one of the biggest Triple H fumbles. Because he should have won the fucking briefcase in 2023, and he didn't. We all kind of saw that he wasn't going to win last year, obviously. But if we want LA Knight to be part of a world title opportunity, we got to give him something. And if LA Knight wins that briefcase, tell me if this sounds like a stupid idea. What if he cashed it in on John Cena? He cashed it in on John Cena because of the history that John Cena and LA Knight have becoming former tag team members, and they have a respect for each other, right? But with John Cena being this despicable heel, imagine the pop LA Knight's going to get when he wins that briefcase and cashes it in on him to become the new undisputed champion. I would love to see that. Part of me wants to see that cash in at Crown Jewel in Australia. I think that's one of the reasons why I want him to win so badly. But yeah, LA Knight, he needs something. Because I'm kind of getting sick of him being in the US title card scene like every single time. He needs something. So I think the Money in the Bank briefcase could do something for him. But yeah, Jacob Fatu is winning this match without a shadow of a doubt. Jacob Fatu just won the fucking thing. Like, what was it, like 2-3 weeks ago? Yeah, ain't no way Jacob Fatu is going to be a transitional champion. Fuck that.
I think it's going to wind up being pretty unanimous here. It's got to be Jacob. Again, the only way I see Jacob losing that title Saturday is if they have Solo turn on him in the middle of the match and cost him the title to somebody else. That's the only way I see him losing it this quickly, where they can protect him in the loss and it not bury him at the same time, is because there's already a story being told about the dissension between Jacob and Solo himself. That's the only way I can see them setting up Jacob versus Solo, getting the title off of Solo onto someone else, and this being the catalyst that pushes it that way. But if they don't do that this Saturday, there is no way in hell you take the title off a guy that's that hot right now. I mean, it would be a terrible, terrible business decision. If you're in the business of making stars and building new stars, and Jacob just has the it factor, he just has that thing that you are organically over with these fans, where they love you, where they want to see you succeed. Even as a heel, these people want to see him win, succeed, beat the babyface. Because right now, there's not a babyface you could put up against Jacob that the fans want to see win more than they want to see him win. It's true. He's that hot right now. He's that over. As far as I'm concerned, he's got to win it. That being said, I think as much as I'm excited for Pat and Gunther, I think this is my most anticipated match of this weekend. Because to me, as much as I love John Cena being back and visiting and all this crap, let's be 100% honest. We just put all the cards on the table. This title picture, the U.S. title picture, is the most interesting thing on SmackDown right now. It is the best thing SmackDown has going on. It's the best storytelling. It's the best matches we've seen. Their match in Mania was definitely better than the main event on night 2 for Cody v. Cena. Okay? These guys, as much as we're tired of seeing multi-man matches, I'm okay seeing one more. Because even if it's a multi-man match, they have 4 different ways that they can make this go. Like there's a million ways you can run a 4-man match that doesn't repeat the exact same minutia and sequences that we saw in the previous 4-way. So I think that this is going to be really fun for a multi-man match. I think we're going to see some brand new stuff, some new cool car crash stuff. Jacob's got to win it, but there's too many creative minds in here. And let's be 100% clear. Look at the work rate going on in this match. Look at the guys involved we're talking about here. These are some seriously creative and incredible performers here. They're going to put on in my opinion, this is going to be the match of the weekend, if we're being honest here. It's going to steal the show. Jacob's got to win it. Again, only way he could lose it is if they capitalized on the solo betrayal and then pushed that envelope. But then who the hell do you put it on that you actually want to see it on more than Jacob right now? So I think it's a fumble if they do that. So Jacob.
Toxic?
The 2 I don't have is McIntyre and Knight. Because, once again, screw McIntyre. He just goes on. He can't even hold the title for 5 minutes. For 5 minutes. He held the world title for 5 minutes.
And 35 seconds.
Yeah, don't forget the 35 seconds. Knight, I've just, as much as I'm probably going to offend BT, I'm sorry, BT, I've just seen too much of it. I want something different. That being said, I got Priest or Fatu. Fatu because he just won the damn thing. You really gonna have him lose the next PLE prior to when he won it? Just no. And the only way I see Priest winning is, once again, if they capitalize on the solo betraying Jacob. Obviously, McIntyre would take the pin because screw McIntyre. So, yeah, I got Jacob or Damian.
So, here's my thing. Even if Solo betrays Jacob, I still don't see Jacob losing the United States title. I just don't. As was already stated, he just won the thing 20 days ago. Literally at WrestleMania. And I am going to remind you that that is also the biggest damn pop of the weekend. It was like, it wasn't the biggest. It was the second biggest. We will get to the biggest later. But it was the second biggest pop, only behind Dominic. There is no possible way that they are going to take that United States title off of Jacob Fatu. There is just no way. He is way too damn big right now. Two of the biggest wrestlers right now, two of your biggest superstars are main event Jey Uso and Jacob Fatu. I'm going Jacob here. It just has to happen. So, my official prediction, Jacob Fatu.
Well, the last match, and this is one of the matches that I'm actually really looking forward to, believe it or not, besides Randy Orton and John Cena, is this Dominic Mysterio versus Penta match. It was just announced this past Monday Night Raw out of nowhere, and as much as I would love to see Dominic Mysterio continue to be Intercontinental Champion, because I love Dom, I'm a huge fan of his, I don't think he is going to be able to beat Penta. I know Dominic Mysterio beat Penta already recently, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. It was probably with the help of the Judgment Day, but everything that's been going on with Finn Balor, I think this is going to be the breaking point. I think this is when Finn Balor is finally going to get, is going to do what we all expect, which is turn on Dom. Dom is going babyface, especially after that huge pop at WrestleMania. I'm going to go with Penta to win the Intercontinental title, and then we see the big blow-off of the Judgment Day on Backlash this weekend. I think Finn Balor is finally going to turn. I think it's about time. So that's what I think is going to happen here. Mr. Blood, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you because I was already running this back in my head. This is the only title that was changed. It changed hands at Mania that I can genuinely say and agree with, where I go, yeah, pull the trigger, take it off him. Because look, they can't take away from the fact that Dom has already been a tag champion. He's already been a North American champion. He's now finally been an Intercontinental champion. Look, a champion is not defined by how long or great their reign is. A champion is defined by how that title is utilized while on them. And as far as it is concerned, him losing that title serves the greater story of what that title's purpose is right now. And that is to elevate that mid-card division for the men. If you are going to take the title off of Dom, you got to do it in a way that doesn't damage him, correct? Because he already is known to only be able to get wins when he has help. So, if you're going to have him lose the Intercontinental Championship, it should also be for the exact same reason. Someone from his group gets in the way. Only this time, it's not to his success. This will be the time where it's 100% to his detriment. And it still protects him in the finish because he didn't lose it because Penta was better. He loses it because Finn screws him over. The same way that Damian did not lose the World Heavyweight Championship to Gunther because Gunther was better. He lost because Finn interfered. Same way, it protects him in the finish. It doesn't make him look weak. It serves the purpose of getting the title onto Penta so Penta gets the push because Penta's so over right now. And he'll have exciting, great workhorse matches with that. And let's be honest, Penta's a fucking workhorse. So this is a perfect title for him. And it also serves getting Dom over in a babyface capacity with the fans capitalizing on that momentum from Mania. But here's the real kicker. Here's the real perfect wedge in the story that really makes this the perfect time to fucking do it. Just do it. It needs to happen. Liv Morgan's away because she's filming a movie. So if you're going to have Finn finally take the rug out from the Judgment Day, it should be when Liv is not there to mentally and physically and verbally combat him. Where she can't undo what he's done. She can't stop him, interfere, send out Carlito, send out freaking Raquel. No. Mom's away. So when mom's away, the kids play, right? She's gone. This is the perfect pull trigger moment. It needs to happen. Turn Finn more heel, honestly, but turn Dom babyface. This will get genuine perfect heat. And then we can get the story of what I believe is going to be another fractured Judgment Day story. But it won't just be the Terror Twins versus the actual whole Judgment Day. I think it's going to be Finn and JD, or Finn and Carlito. Actually, anybody want to go ahead? And here's the question, and someone can answer it. Who was Finn Balor talking to backstage on Monday when the camera walked by? Someone tell me. Who was he talking to? It was a woman.
Roxanne Perez.
There you go. So I'm thinking Finn gets Roxanne to join up with him and possibly Carlito, because I think after what happened with JD surviving that horrifying injury, that's easy work to turn him into a hero. You got Dom as the face, JD as the face, Liv. I don't know where she goes, but Raquel and Liv are going to have to pick sides, and you have a fractured Judgment Day. This side versus this side, and Dom is on the babyface side, because I don't think you can turn Liv babyface. I don't think it's going to work. I think she's got to side with Finn because she can't believe that Dom would let this happen while she's gone. How come you guys can't make up? You know, you're such a loser. And I think that's where we start having that story happen. So, yeah, it's got to be Penta, because this is going to finally serve that great, juicy story we could actually get out of a Judgment Day third time breakup.
I'm stuck on this. Completely stuck. I agree with everything that Blood has just said. Sounds amazing. Would love to see it happen. The problem I have with is Dom also just won the Intercontinental Championship. Would you really have him lose it the next PLE over? It's the same thing with Fatu. They just won it. But I also want to see Penta, because Penta is, I agree with Blood, Penta is a workhorse. That title, as stated sometime in Gunther's reign, I don't remember when, don't ask me to look it up, I'm not gonna, the Intercontinental Championship is a workhorse title. Same thing with the World Heavyweight Championship, but I'm not even going to get into that because that's off topic. The Intercontinental Championship is made for workhorses. And Dom, backstage, when Adam Pearce had to go take his mental break, hey, I want some time off just because Liv's taking time off. Nick Aldis said, no. So if Dom's not willing to be the workhorse for the Intercontinental Championship, why keep it?
Yeah, very true.
That's why I think Penta.
Okay, so both of you think Penta. I'm going to be the first to go the opposite way. I'm going Dom. And Blood, I get what you were going for with the heel turn, but it made me think of a certain revenge that happened, I believe, 3-4 years ago. Back when The Miz brought in Logan Paul in a tag match. against, funny enough, Dom and Ray at WrestleMania. I don't think that heel turn happens during the match. I think it happens after it. Because just imagine this. Dom retains. Crowd goes absolutely insane. Dom is in the corner, top rope, holding up the title like he did at Mania. Only for Balor to come up from behind him, swoop him under, and just start stomping away. Just imagine the impact that alone would have. I think that heel turn happens after the match. I don't think it happens during it. So I'm going Dominic Mysterio here.
I'm gonna go for Penta. I want Dominic Mysterio to have at least a decent reign, but he's not believable as a champion. He isn't. Which is why I think Finn Balor needs to cost Dominic the title and let somebody who is a workhorse have that championship. Let Penta have that championship. What a fucking statement that would be for somebody like Penta, who is still rarely green in WWE scene, right? To win a mid-card title, like the Intercontinental title, within, like, how long has it been? Like 5-6 months since he popped up?
He was there right before the Rumble, I believe.
Right. He's been doing amazing since he got here, and he has that superstar feel. Like, have you seen the amount of videos of motherfuckers doing the Penta walk? You seen that shit? Motherfuckers be hitting that Penta walk, the Zilo, Milo, that shit. Motherfuckers be hitting that Penta walk so smoothly. They're saying that's one of the there was one of them that said that's how they're gonna be walking in the bedroom now. Hey baby, what you doing? But yeah, I think Penta wins this, and Dominic is gonna get screwed over by Finn. That's what I think's gonna happen.
My only thing that I forgot to mention, and it's very quick, and I do promise when I say quick, is that if we turn Dom face, that means they actually have to book him to win clean. You've spent so much time putting him over as a guy who can't win without help. So how do we turn him face in a way where we can believably believe that he can win matches clean now? That's the only issue with turning him face I see them having to book their way around. But that is something to think about.
I think you get everyone in the Judgment Day to turn on Dom. I think that'll turn him face.
Even JD, whom seems like since he's been back, he's kind of got a little bit of babyface energy to him. Yeah,
but he can easily turn heel again.
I mean, you're not wrong. Who do you think, Snug? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, because JD's super. That's Finn's boy. I mean, Finn is the reason why JD is even in the Judgment Day in the first place. Back when Damian Priest didn't want him. Yeah, I think if even if Liv, because like you said, Blood, you can't turn Liv babyface. She's too much of a. She's just starting to take off as a heel. It wouldn't make sense to turn her face. So, yeah, everyone, including Liv, just turns on Dom, and they just single out Dominic Mysterio after betraying him. You put some sympathy on Dom. I think the people would get behind that.
But how do we explain all of the back and forth between Liv and Finn, all the detachment, all the backhandedness, the slide, like the constantly trying to one up each other. How do we get past that Liv would agree with Finn betraying Dom without Liv having a catalyst for agreeing with Finn?
That's true.
When all they've done is bicker for months.
That's true. Yeah,
It'll
I don't
be
know.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm very, very interested in how this match goes now.
Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of interest in each of these matches that we're going to see at Backlash tonight. You know, obviously the John Cena versus Randy, even down to Lyra Valkyrie versus Becky Lynch. There's something to look forward to in each match. It's going to happen at Backlash. We'll see if we get any of these things right when the show goes down. And when it does go down, we'll be here to talk about it as well and be here to review it. But that was a preview for Backlash. Thanks to everyone that hung out with us, commented, shared your thoughts, and were part of the show. Thanks to the Snug crew. Until next time, everyone have a good night. No yeet. Let's get the fuck out of here. Peace.
Four letters.